We have a new pope. His conclave was rather short, wrapped up quickly just today. We have a new pope who was previously known as Cardinal Francis Prevost and now taken the regal name Leo the 14th. You know, I sometimes say I hate to say I told you so. I actually picked the papal name, and this was not merely that I was predicting, but one I was kind of hoping for. I've said this for a long time, but then right before we were sort of waiting for the conclave to fully wrap up and for the pope, a new pope, to walk out. I said, what regal name are you hoping for? I'm hoping for Leo the 14th. And then they come out and announce the pope and the name in Latin, and it was Leo the 14th. The reason that Leo the 14th is a good sign is because Leo the 13th is one of the great popes. He's the first pope that ever appeared on film, by the way, because he was very old right when moving pictures were coming out. So you can actually see a little film of Pope Leo blessing people. He is beloved by conservatives. John Paul II loved Leo the 13th. Leo the 13th was very strong against socialism. He was strong in tradition, orthodoxy, Thomistic philosophy and theology, also a wonderful man to articulate Catholic social teaching. So when John Paul II was writing, I'm going to butcher these titles because I'm not Catholic, Sentimus Annus, he was writing about an encyclical by Leo the 13th, which is called Rerum Novarum, and about these kind of new ideas and these new systems in politics. And in his work, John Paul II was saying, communism is terrible, free markets are an efficient way to allocate resources. This is the conservative pope, right? We really love this. So that's all a good sign, but I mentioned Catholic social teaching because there are a lot of other signs about the new pope that raise some eyebrows. All right, folks, quick reality check. When disaster hits, whether it's a blackout, blizzard, or God forbid, something worse, the last place you want to be is standing in line at an empty grocery store. And that's why I trust Patriot Food Supply, America's #1 emergency food kit provider. Patriot Food Supply meals are made right here in the USA. They've got a 25-year shelf life, and the kits are loaded with delicious, easy-to-make meals that can feed you and your family when things go sideways. We're talking breakfast, lunch, dinner, no more of those bland MREs. And listen, you don't prep because you're paranoid. You prep because it's smart. You lock your doors, right? Same logic. So use the link in the description today and get 4 free 72-hour food kits when you order a 4-week food supply. That's real value and real peace of mind. Stay ready, stay safe. That's the Patriot way. He's from Chicago, and, obviously nothing good comes from Chicago. Just kidding a little bit. Some liberal prelates and priests and lay people seem to be really excited about this. He mentioned Pope Francis a lot in his first speech to everyone. The whole crowd in St. Peter talked a lot about Francis. Talked a lot about synodal way being a way of inclusivity and listening and dialogue. And many conservatives and traditional people in the church are a little worried about this. That this could water down doctrine, that this is ambiguous, this opens the gate to innovation. The synodal way is the way that Pope Francis was advocating. So that's all a little bit troubling. Some people are pointing out that the new Pope Leo XIV, when he was Cardinal, Prevost, wrote a piece going after J.D. Vance, specifically for articulating the Ordo Amoris, the hierarchy of love, in the language of St. Thomas Aquinas, so maybe that's not a great sign. Some people are wondering what I guess I should mention. We're 3 minutes in. This is the first American Pope ever from the United States. That is the second Latin American Pope now that we've had 2 in a row. He's American, but he's also a dual citizen of Peru. Some are wondering, was this Pope picked in part to provide a counter-political balance to Trump and to the turn against mass migration in the West? And so again, we don't know what the cardinals were thinking exactly in there. And I'll leave in a little sign of hope, though. The name is a very hopeful sign. The fact that he walked out in the formal vestments is a hopeful sign. I'll leave in a little sign of hope, though. The name is very hopeful. The fact that he walked out in the formal vestments is a hopeful sign. The formal vestments are something that Pope Francis didn't really like, but the formal vestments are important. They're actually, I think, a sign of humility because you're recognizing it's not about the personality of the individual, but he's taking on a new name. He is the Bishop of Rome, the Vicar of Christ. He's subduing his personality and maybe some of his personal preferences to the magisterium, to orthodoxy, to the church. That's what one hopes for that kind of a signal. I think we saw that a lot with Pope Benedict, but he gave the blessing in Latin, which is a good sign for continuity. However, there is some cause for eyebrows being raised. There is some cause for concern about things he has said on LGBT issues. There's some cause to wonder what he thinks about traditional liturgy. With this pick, who no one was guessing, he hasn't said very much. We don't really know, and people who tell you they know for sure exactly what he thinks and what he'll do, are full of it. This is someone that no one saw coming, that we don't know a lot about. There are some good signs and some bad signs. He's a young man, 69 years old. He will most likely be Pope for a very, very long time, decades, and you will have to see how the pontificate holds up, or unfolds, I should say. I have a lot more to say about some of the signs we're getting on the new Pope, on LGBT issues, on the environment, on tradition, on the very structure of the church. So with that, you got to stay tuned to the Political Pulse Show. And future episodes will dive into the new Pope and his stance on issues. And with that, let me know your thoughts on the new Pope in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up if you like our video. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification button to be notified of future videos. And we will see you in the next one.